Okay. Yesterday we talked a lot about factoring and either factoring algebraically using GCF or Desmos. We're going to build on that today by looking at some polynomials that do not start with a coefficient of 1. They have a number other than 1 in front of that x squared. So in this case, I'm going to try to factor the first one. And the first thing I always want to do when I factor is, you might notice it has a GCF. If it has a GCF, go ahead and factor out that GCF. So if I factor out my GCF of 2, that will leave me with an x squared plus 2x minus 8. At this point, there is no longer a number in front of my x. It's just an x squared now in that parenthesis. So I can try to factor what's in the parenthesis again by trying to multiply to -8 and add to 2. If I was doing it algebraically, I would be saying, oh, numbers that multiply to 8 are 4 and 2. So I could get a positive 2 out of that if the 4 was positive and the 2 was negative. A positive 4 times -2 would be -8, and I could add them up and it'd be positive 2. Bring down your GCF of 2, and that would be your final answer. Now, once you factored out that GCF, you could have used Desmos as well. If you notice on Desmos, if I have x squared plus 2x minus 8, that had an x value of x-intercepts of -4 and also positive 2. What I could do is I could say that that -4 had a value of x plus 4, and I could say that the positive 2 would be a factor of x minus 2, and then that would have been the same answer I had over here on number 15. If I would have put those factors in different order, like the x minus 2 in front of the x plus 4, that would have been okay to have the order different as long as the factors are the same. But you cannot switch up the signs. So if I had a plus 2 and a minus 4, that would have been a problem. So that shows you how to handle that. Now, one like number 2 starts with a number in front, but it does not have a GCF. So when I'm looking at number 2 without a GCF, basically cannot divide out anything. So if I'm trying it algebraically, I'm going to have to say, well, what are some things that multiply to 5x squared? Now, yesterday it was x squared, so it's always x times x. In this case, 5x squared, I could do a 5x times 1x, or 5x times x, and that would get me started well. Then what I would have to do is think of things that multiply to 18. Unfortunately, since there's that number in front, I'm no longer able to look for things that multiply to 18 and add to 21. I'm just going to have to guess numbers that multiply to 18 and then check and see if they're right. So one thing that multiplies to 18 is I could have a 6 and a 3. If I have a 6 and a 3, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take those and multiply them together. So 6 times x is 6x. It's basically like I was foiling this out and multiplying it. And then 5 times 3 is 15x. And it does turn out that 6x plus 15x do add to 21x. So since these do add up to 21x, that is my correct answer. Just to illustrate, though, that it's not always that perfect, if I would have tried the same numbers in different order, in other words, if I would have tried 5x plus 3 and an x plus 6, what I would have ended up with, if I multiplied out now, is I would have had a 3x and a 30x. And the same numbers with the order switched up did not work. So you can get, and all I would say then as well, I might try switching the order of the numbers. I might try something else that multiplies to 18, like 2 and 9. I just tried one set of numbers and it didn't work, and I would just keep guessing until I got it. Now, of course, some of you probably will not enjoy doing that a lot, so you can always use Desmos to speed you up, and here's how.